L'Artisan Parfumeur is probably one of my favorite brands, and recently they came up with a new line called Le Potager. Le Potager means a veg garden, and I have these miniatures that I'm going to present today. An interesting thing about them that each scent smells like a vegetable, but they are not named after these vegetables. I don't know if it's a good marketing campaign or not, because on one side I understand it'd be difficult to sell perfume that is called curly flower, but on the other hand it brings you to some disappointment, because this one, for example, is called Tonka Blanc, white tonka. There is some excitement when you buy it. You think, okay, how is tonka going to mix with a curly flower? And that could be the hook to make you buy the perfume. But once you try it, you start searching for this tonka, and I personally never found it. Tonka Blanc for me is a mandarin perfume, but not a very good one, because this mandarin is hidden behind something that is very difficult to point out, unless you know that this something is a curly flower. Meanwhile, L'Artisan Parfumeur makes the best mandarin perfume for me, and this is a Corsican mandarin in their collection. Iris de Gris is probably the one I like the most out of 4, which is surprising for me because I never thought I would like green peas. The second element of this perfume is bergamot, and this bitterness of bergamot sits very well on my skin, especially with green peas, because they blend in so well together with my natural smell that it feels just like a second skin, but with a fresh touch or something. What makes me a little bit disappointed about it is that I did not find any iris in here. I wish there was more of it, because the powdery notes could make it a bit more feminine and sexy, and I think I would like it more, versus this veggie perfume. Musc Amarante is also a perfume where bergamot is interestingly presented, but for me it smells too much like raw beets. Despite that I like drinking raw beets juice, I'm not a fan of wearing this scent on my skin. This one is named after Vetiver. Vetiver in here actually is present, but very, very far. You have to dig for it and you have to have a good nose. I was thinking I really would like this one because tomato leaves actually are a note that I really enjoy in many fragrances, but I like tomato leaves with some sweetness. Here there is no sweetness. The second dominant note in here, actually probably the first dominant note in here, is grapefruit. So this is a nice perfume to wear as a citrusy perfume during the summer. The fragrance that I don't have in here, but I did get a chance to try it, is Cedrat Ceruse. And this is the 5th fragrance and the last fragrance in the collection Le Potager. All 5 fragrances were created as unisex, but I would say that Cedrat Ceruse is the one that is leaning towards masculine side. The combination of bitter citrus with anise and fennel, I find it more appropriate for men rather than for ladies. The grapefruit in Vetiver perfume has more of a soft pronunciation and more feminine, while the citrusy bitterness in Cedrat Ceruse is kind of harsher and more masculine, I would say. But it just depends on your taste, really. I kind of like the idea of having vegetables in fragrances, and the reason I like it is because you cannot guess what kind of fragrance the person is wearing. No one's mind is going to veggie garden, despite that all these vegetables are really well pronounced in these perfumes. So unless you say curly flower, nobody's gonna guess it. So bravo, Artisan Parfumeur, for this idea, and I hope this will open the door to many more creations. Meanwhile, I think you have to be a brave person with somewhat avant-garde ideas to wear veggie perfumes. What do you think? Would you like to try? Have you tried? Please comment.